Microphone 1 2 check 1 2. I'm so shy for no damn reason. Okay, let's do it. Hey beautiful people, how are you doing? My name is Lya Pouleyy and welcome to BRL, my very first podcast. So BRL stands for Blessing or Lesson. But before we start BRL, let me open up a little bit more about me. I just turned 34 on June 22nd. I'm a Cancer baby. Whoop whoop. I am from Paris, France, not Paris, Texas, guys. And I've been living in New York for 6 years now. And yes, I know, I still have my French accent. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm not gonna get rid of it anytime soon. So get used to it. Get used to it. I'm a wellness creative. Means that I help you feeling better through the arts, through dance and modeling, cooking, and any type of creativity. During that wellness journey, I'm gonna help you reconnecting with your body, your mind, your soul, and your emotions. So it's a yearly program where we meet every month and a half so I can see your progression, what needs to be improved, how we can go to the next level, because we're always evolving, always. And in this program we have a lot of arts and craft, writing, dance, body movement, body understanding, modeling, body posture, image awareness, cooking, and so much more. Trust me, it is just like an amazing program that I prepared for you. I've been doing that for quite a few years now, and everybody's always happy about it. Because one of my good skills is that to be very honest and modest. I understand people. I understand people's need. I listen. I'm a listener. And my goal is really for you to feel better, to be better, emotionally, as I said, mentally, that you love who you are, your body, that you are healthy, that you are aware of what you're eating, everything. So you can find more details below if you're interested. But now, let's talk about BRL, right? So I decided to launch BRL for you guys to realize that everything that is happening in your life is a blessing or a blessing in disguise or a lesson. And how art, dance, creativity, confidence help you facing, accepting, calming, maturing, overcoming all of these experiences of your life. Sometimes I will share my own experiences. Sometimes I will share my acquaintance, my friends, my family's experiences with their consent, of course. And sometimes I will share your stories, because if you contact me and you would like to share with us, I will be gladly happy to share your story, and I thank you in advance for that. Enough presentation, enter to the very first story. So I think I'm gonna have like a lot of blank when I'm gonna talk about that story, because I wanted the first episode to be personal. So I'm gonna share with you something that happened to me 5 years ago. It's a love story. All of my stories are not gonna be love-based, but this one is really about love. And really about love, because I really loved that guy back then. Thank God not anymore. So it was 5 years ago. I was living in Brooklyn 5 years ago. I had like a duplex apartment. That was my very first apartment that had my name on it, So I was with my niece at the time. She just turned 21, I think, one of my nieces. And we had our very first roommate. She is a French girl, but with an Egyptian background. I really loved her. I still love her, by the way. I'm not gonna give any names, so what I'm gonna do, I forgot to tell you guys, but except when it's about me, I'm gonna change all the names all the time to respect people's privacy, especially when I'm talking about my own life, because people, I'm not sure that they always want, you guys to know who they are. But since it's my life, I'm gonna share, but not the names. I'm just gonna change the names all the time. So I was living in a duplex apartment. We had a very nice private backyard with a swimming pool and all of that. I was like really living the dream. I loved that time of my life, I remember. And so my niece, she is my cousin's daughter. And oh, I didn't tell you, but so I told you I'm French. I was born and raised in Paris. But my background, my two parents are from Cameroon, and they met in France. You have to know that us African people, we don't say first cousin, second cousin, whatever it is. I don't even understand that. So for us, since your cousin is like your brother, so your cousin's kids are going to be your nephews and nieces. So my niece was actually my cousin's daughter. I loved that girl to death back then. I didn't really know her. She didn't grow up with me, but we really got close when she came to New York to spend a few months. And we really got along, so she decided to move in with me. And so, as I said, we had our very first roommate, very sweet girl. Shout out to you if you hear me. And I had like this girl that I met. She was our neighbor. This girl that I met back then, and she became my sister. And I love her to death. And I love you, Bichon. You're the only one I'm gonna kind of say who you are. I really love you. You know that. So I was at a party, like an art and dance event in the city. Called Collage, and back then it was at the DL, very nice club in the Lower East Side. So the Collage was us painting. When I say us, artists painting and dancers dancing, and I was both, but I didn't paint that night. I was just dancing. And I met this guy who came to talk to me and say, oh, I love the way you dance, blah, 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 and all of that. So we exchanged, I think, Facebook or numbers. I forgot. I think at that time I didn't have Instagram yet. Yeah, I think I didn't. But anyways, so the guy was cute, good looking guys, and he was a dancer. I liked his style, so I was like, why not? And I am a dancer, but I do not date dancers. Very few. I've been dating maybe 3 dancers in my entire life. Not even sure about that. But he was one of those. So we started, to chat via Facebook, text messages, and because I like to know who I have to deal with. I really don't like bad surprises. So I ask right away about the situation. Are you in a relationship, or are you looking for stuff like that? So he told me back then that he just broke up with his ex, and how his life was a mess, because this guy's life was a big mess. Like, I've never met someone with such a messy life. I was so shocked. I'm really not used to that. When I say I'm not used to that, to have like close men that I could be interested in with such a big messy life. I'm not gonna go into the details of his life, but that was pretty messy. And he told me that, oh, he's polyamorous. I'm like, I don't know what the hell this is. I just don't have time for that. So, cute guy, cute dancer, but messy life, polyamorous. Lya, you're not going there. But what happened is like we started to be good friends. It was always like, every day almost he was like, for some reason he was always close to my place doing something, being at the birthday party, meeting up with some friends, whatever. So every time he was like, oh, can I stop by, so he was stopping by, and that's how we started to become friends. But it was like pure friendship, nothing intimate, nothing at all. And my friends, my niece and my roommate, they were like, oh my god, this guy really likes you, like you should give him a chance. And I was like, no, hell no, like his life is way too messy for me. I just can't, I can do that, because I'm very, very, very careful who I date, who I allow in my life and stuff like that. And my friends, they were like, oh my god, Lya, you're way too stiff, you should let it go a little bit, this is summertime, you should have fun, this is like your first apartment in New York, blah blah blah. And then I was like, yeah, but no. And then it was, as I said, it was summertime. So then July came, and he's not dead, he's a Cancer like me. So I decided to do like a birthday party, like a surprise for his birthday, but like a birthday party, just he and I. So I cooked like the most delicious birthday cake, French of course. I bought some juice, because I don't drink. I made a very nice picnic in my bedroom, but we were friends, and I was like, okay, it looks very romantic, so to break this a little bit, I dressed like very old school hip hop, baggy, and I had my video projector, I remember, and I was playing some music videos, old school hip hop, very 90s music, but not romantic at all, to break with the romantic birthday cake and picnic that I made. I didn't want him to think anything or to misinterpret the signs. And what I liked about him is that he really respected that, because he was like, I'd rather be your friend than nothing. So cool. So then we had like this birthday time together. He really liked it. He was like, wow, nobody never did that for me, and blah blah blah. And he was like, okay, Lya, I want to kiss you now, so we need to go, because I won't be able to control myself. And he has like some of his friends, they did like a little something for him, a gathering at a club in Bushwick, close to my place. So we've been together. So we were walking, holding hands and all of that. He tried to kiss me. I was like, no, because I was the type of person before, if you don't clearly tell me that you like me, I wouldn't assume anything. And before, I was so scared of my emotions that I was always like stepping back, pushing away. So he wanted to kiss me, and I was like, So then we went to the club. Like you could feel like the physical attraction between he and I, but I tried to keep it cool. Then he asked me if he could sleep over, and I was like, yeah, sure, because that wouldn't be the first time he was sleeping over at my place, but without nothing to happen, really nothing, just us holding each other while sleeping. So then we went back to my place. Oh, I think at the club we had like our first kiss. I don't know why this time I let him kissing me. Then we went back home. He took his shower, I took mine, then we went to sleep. I just don't know what happened, but it happened. Long story short, I was like, oh my god, what am I doing? This guy, messy life, polyamorous. I shouldn't go there at all. So I told him, oh, that was not a mistake, but let's not do that again, because we don't want the same things. You want to have fun with a lot of women. I like not to share my man with anybody, and I like serious relationships. So I'm like, I'm not going there. So every time it was like, yeah, it's not gonna happen again, I promise. And every time it was coming over, every time it happened. But very quick, he told me one day, after like, I think after a week or 10 days, something like that, it was like, Lya, listen, I know my life is messy and all of that, but you made me realize that I don't need like 1,000 of women. I just want you. I don't want anybody else. And I was like, are you sure? But of course, inside I was like so happy. I was like, oh my God. But I was like, are you sure? It was like, yeah, yeah. And I'm like, okay. And we kind of became like best friends. Like he was my BFF. I was his BFF. He was always with me. I was always with him. I kind of felt like he was almost living at my place with my roommate and my niece. And yeah, we were in love. I can say so. At first, I didn't want to admit it. I was in total denial, like in a real denial. But this guy, he did his best. He did everything for me to fall in love with him. And I did my best not to fall in love with him, but at some point what happened. I started to fall in love with him. And he even introduced me to his whole family, and I always ran away from families. Like if there was one thing with me, like if you wanted me to meet your mom, you had to trick me. If you don't trick me, I'm not gonna meet your mother. But this guy, I accepted to meet his mother. Or maybe he tricked me, I forgot. But I know that I met his mother. He was the first one who told me, when I say the first one, not the first man in my life, but he was the first one who told me I love you. He told me I love you at first. And when he told me I love you, I was like, and then he was like, Lya, don't worry. I know you love me. You're just not ready to say so. I'm patient. I'm like, oh, wow, cool. So he was very patient. It took me a few days to say I love you back. And I think I couldn't even say so. I was like, and it was like, yeah, Lya, I know you love me. But it was really hard for me because before him, I just told I love you to one guy when I was 20, and this guy is living in France. And that was so funny because when I told him I loved him, I puked. That's so crazy, but like I really puked. Before that, I never said I love you to a guy, and after that I was like, I would never say I love you to a guy again. But this guy, when I said I love you back then, he said he loved me too. That was no problem. It was just me and my ego, you know. So this guy that I was talking about, I almost said his name. So it took me a while to say I love you. And at the time I was 29. So you can see that from 20 to 29, I didn't say I love you to any guy. So I told him I loved him. I didn't say that every day because that was hard for me until it became natural, which was great. So we had like a very beautiful love story. But sometimes, it went back to his like, oh, I don't know if I want to be in something serious. I was like, what the hell does it come from? You're the one who was pushing this relationship to be the way it is. But then he was like, no, like, I really want to go to the next level with you. I really want to be serious with you. I really want us to last as long as possible. I even want to have kids with you and all the blah blah, all the love bombing. I think this guy loved me, but I think he really loved the present. I don't know, and I don't even care. But about my side, I would say I love the present that we had, but there were there was no future, and I knew it. But it's hard when you know something, but the feelings are involved. So it is hard for you not to be in denial, because the way we think was completely different. It was extremely immature. He wasn't ready. His life was a mess, and blah, blah, blah. And I knew that we couldn't have any future. But since I was in love with him, I wanted to believe that we can go through his crazy life and his crazy mentality and his crazy everything. But we just couldn't. And unfortunately, I'm not going to share with you why we broke up, because we never really discussed about it, he and I. And I have my opinion, and I think we never know if he's going to listen to that one day or not. And the reason why we broke up, what I have to say, would be pretty, I would say, not ugly, but that's not going to be good for him, and he would take it the wrong way. But after the summer, we broke up. And at the same day we broke up, the same day my niece did something pretty crazy. So I was like very double heartbroken, because I really love my niece to death, and I really, really love this guy. And they both betrayed me the same day. I was like, oh my God, my heart cannot take it. That was just super crazy. So I decided to go to Canada to see one of my best friends. She lives in Montreal. So I was staying there for 5 days or something. And I met up with another friend over there. She's French as well. She moved to Montreal. She's a graphic designer. She's an artist. And she showed me her new art graphic design project that I loved. And reminded me of, not like it wasn't the same project at all, but reminded me of a graphic design art project that I started like 2 or 3 years prior, and that I never continued. And I was so heartbroken. And usually I haven't been heartbroken so much in my life, thank God. But what helps me all the time, because of my ego, is art in general. It can be drawing, painting, graphic design, dancing, whatever. But I need to keep my artistic mind busy, and that really helps me go through everything in my life. That's just super crazy. And also because, as I said, I have a big ego. I do not tolerate to have a broken heart. So when I feel that my heart is about to be broken, I just jump into something very artistic for as long as I need. Like that, I don't think about the breakup. I don't think about the broken heart. I don't think about anything. I'm just into my art. So as you can see, the image displayed, if you had a look at it on YouTube, but if it's on another platform, you might not be able to see it. But you can check it on my website, www.lyapouleyy, LYAPOULEYY.com. I have a project called Phrase Me Project, and I actually started Phrase Me Project thanks to that breakup with that guy 5 years ago. And as I said, art saved my life so many times, and hip-hop saved my life as well. So I started Phrase Me Project. Is a graphic design project, artistic way, where I give props to a lot of artists. A lot of them are hip-hop artists, but not only. Artists that I really respect, that I really love the work. And yes, I'm just gonna let you having a look at it. So I started this project. I went back to this project, I think it was on September 2015. And also what helped me overcoming that breakup was reading The Tao of Wu-Tang by Reza, because this book is full of knowledge and it really helps you spiritually. That's just amazing. Thank you, Reza, for that. So this book and my graphic design project, Phrase Me project, was like a huge help. And then I think in October I had a friend from France. She came to visit me for like a week or 10 days, I forgot. And she loved my project and she bought me 4 pieces, and I was like, oh wow. And then randomly I just posted on Instagram, because I started Instagram when I started that project. I'm like, oh, time to have Instagram now. So I posted, I think I posted the very first post about that project was like the A Tribe Called Quest artwork, and Jerobi of A Tribe Called Quest saw it. He just loved it, and he contacted me and he's like, I need one. So a few days later, I met up with him. I printed it, of course, and I gave him the artwork, and we took pictures and all of that. That was just amazing. And he posted my artwork on his Instagram, and he told his followers to support local artists, and after that I had like maybe 50 orders from November to Christmas, and then after that I had more and more orders. Pete Rock had one of my artwork, DJ Scratch had one of my artwork, and that was just like a beautiful adventure, and I love that. And then I started to make, oh my god, am I that exhausted already? I started to make t-shirts, shorts, dresses, pillows, shower curtains, and so much more. And without that crazy guys that I dated, I would have never started that art project. So I'm not gonna say thank you, because that's not thanks to him, that's just the situation. That's mostly thanks to me being like a creative person, and thanks to the universe, and thanks to my guides and all of that, and thanks to the people who supported me. But at the end of the day, thanks to that relationship, I started that art project, and it was a true blessing and a lesson at the same time. The lesson is like, when you don't feel somebody, just stay away from that person. It's not worth it. No, I wouldn't say that. That's mean. It was worth it, but even if there is no future between two people, just don't lie to yourself, and don't deny the fact that it might be over sooner than later. Enjoy the relationship if you really love the person, but for real, don't really expect too much, because your instinct never fools you. And I knew for a fact it wouldn't last, and I knew it would end up sooner than later. I just really wanted to believe it, because I started to have feelings and I started to be in love. I'm not gonna say I was wrong, because I had a great summer with that guy. And also I think that because I deeply knew it wouldn't last, it didn't take me too long to heal from that relationship, honestly. But yes, that was my story, very personal. I'm not used to share personal stories like that, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope some of you can relate to it. I hope that experience can help other people to understand the message that I'm trying to pass to you guys. And I really thank you for listening. If you like my very first episode, please give a thumb up. If you don't really like it, nothing. That's just the very first one. I'm gonna be more and more confident in front of the microphone. but I have so many much more stories to tell you, personal, not personal, some of my friends, and I hope you guys will be willing to share some of your stories with us. That would be like just amazing. I'm gonna have this podcast every week. It's gonna be a weekly podcast. What else can I say? I don't know. Just feel free to comment, to share, to contact me for any reasons if you want to. My website that you can see if you have YouTube, or I'm just gonna say it, www.lyapouleyy.com. My email, contact contact at lyapouleyy.com, and my Instagram, Lya Pouleyy, Lyapouleyy. So until the second episode next week, take very care of yourself, and don't forget that you are your best friend. And once again, if it's not a blessing, it's a lesson. Take care, guys. Love you. Peace and kiss.